Hey lovely people, welcome to my channel. All right guys, so guys, when you move into the United Kingdom, the first thing on your mind, your top priority is how you can bring in your immediate family. And by immediate family, we mean your dependents. Usually, this could be your spouse, which could be your husband or your wife, whichever case it may be, and your children. All right, so the UK, which is the home office slash the immigration office, they've made a lot of changes regarding who you can bring in as your dependent, and this is what we are going to be focusing on in today's video. So whether you're on a Tier 2 visa, which is the skilled worker visa, or you're on a student visa, which is the Tier 4 visa, this really affects you, because when you are in the UK, you just want to bring your dependent into the UK with you. So we're going to be talking about this recent changes, this major changes that has been made by the immigration office, like the home office, regarding who you can bring into the UK as your dependents. So if you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Violet Okolocha. I share every juicy information like this and tips on how you can pass your OSCE exam. So please consider subscribing to my channel. Please like this video and please don't forget to subscribe. So guys, without wasting any of your time, let's get directly into this video.
Ryan Little.
All right guys, so welcome back to my channel. So now, who is a dependent? A dependent, like we said, is your wife or your husband and your children. So let's go with your wife slash your husband. So when you want to bring your wife slash your husband into the UK, there are a lot of documents or a lot of requirements currently that you have to provide so that you are not denied. A lot of people have been denied from bringing in their spouse. A lot of them even have to do an appeal. A lot of them have to reapply. You understand? So if you don't want to waste your money to reapply at all, please pay every detail to this video. So now, you don't have to be married legally to bring in your fiancé, your spouse, or your husband. But let's start with those who are married. Now, legally, you are married to a man or you're married to a woman and you're in the UK and you want them to join you. So the first thing you need is your original marriage certificate. So make sure you get your original marriage certificate. Now, if in your country you have what we call newspaper publication when you change name, like for instance, when I got married in Nigeria, I changed my name from my father's name to my husband's name, and there was a newspaper publication to back that up. So if you have that newspaper publication in your home country, you have to submit that as well. So newspaper publication. Number three is also a very good practice of writing like a letter whenever you intend somebody to join you in the United Kingdom. For instance, I, Violet Okolocha, wish my husband, Mr. Sususu, to come join me in the United Kingdom. That's it. Or I, Violet Okolocha, which is my wife, to come join me in the United. So it's a very good practice of writing a letter introducing the person and telling them that you want your spouse to come join in the UK, because it's a requirement that when you're married, your family should be with you. You get, so you can also send marriage IV. Yes, if when you go married you did like an IV or an invitation, can also prove that and send that as a requirement that, oh, we're married, so this is the marriage IV. You can also send anything, including emails, including communication, including photographs. One thing I'll tell you is no information is too much. It is better to send a lot of information. By so doing, you don't have issues. So when you send a lot of information, send your marriage photos, send your communication, send any emails where both of you have shared together, like husband and wife or man and wife. So nothing is too much. Video communication, emails communication, and that will be okay. All right. Now also, if you're not married to this person but you have a relationship with this person, probably this person is your fiance or this person is your fiancé, whichever case it may be, you also have to prove that this person has like a relationship with you. So how can you prove it? Because both of you are not legally married. So you can prove it by sending photographs, engagement pictures, emails, WhatsApp messages, communication, videos, anything at all. They just want a proof, something that really shows that you have a relationship with this person. And sorry to add this, they are not only concerned about man and woman relationship. So if you are like both of you are the same sex marriage, or both of you are the same sex marriage, they don't care. All they need is to prove that both of you are married, because the United Kingdom do not discriminate whether you're man or woman, or you're man or you're woman. They don't discriminate, but they just want to prove that both of you are into a serious relationship. All right, so now let's talk about how you can bring your dependent, which are your children, like your kids, your children, to the United Kingdom. So for children, a lot of people have been denied from bringing their children to the UK. Some even appeal, and some lost their money and they had to reapply again. So pay attention to the details on how you can bring your children to the UK, because recently a colleague of mine applied to bring her kids into the UK, and in no time the Home Office slash Immigration Office sent her a message that they needed an additional evidence from her, that the UK Decision Making Center is currently assessing her application that she has submitted, and that they are unable to conclude the application at the moment because they need additional information to prove that these children are her children in regards to the legislation had. And she has 10 days to provide these additional documents so that they can finalize their decision. So this is rare, but it's happening more frequently. Okay, so it's happening more frequently, and that's because a lot of people are adopting children that are not theirs. A lot of people are bringing in children that are not theirs. A lot of people are faking these documents, claiming children that are not theirs. And this has brought what we call a lot of safeguarding issues. You understand? So now, for some countries, even if you adopt a child legally, you have all the legal documents to prove that you really adopted this child. The Home Office may not grant that child particularly visa to come join you in the UK. Yes, I remember a colleague of mine who legally adopted a child even before she got a job offer in the UK. She's legally adopted this child for a long time, and when she applied for the child visa, they refused. I don't want to mention the name of the country. Perhaps some other country who, when you legally adopt a child, they can give the child, access slash visa to come to the UK. So it all depends. It all really depends. So there's no guarantee. But if you are legally, or you legally adopt a child, you also have to try, because by right you're supposed to bring the child to the UK or to wherever you are so that the child can join you. So one of the documents you require is their birth certificate, and that is why I will encourage a lot of you who are currently having kids or who are within the childbearing age, that when you give birth, try to get the childbirth certificate immediately. Because one of the challenge my friend faced was that she got the children birth certificate when she was planning for them to come to the UK, and the children were like 12 years, 11 years old. Do you understand? So when you give birth to children, try to get their birth certificates immediately, especially the one that is accepted. Try to get the birth certificate of when you give birth to them in the hospital, and try to get the legally accepted birth certificate for them as well. It is really important, because in our own case, they said date differs, that this child was born in 2015, but the birth certificate you submitted is reading 2022. Do you get? So that's some of the disparity. The Home Office will need some additional information from you. Another thing you need is letter of consent from you. So you can be a single mother wanting to bring your children to the UK. You can be a couple wanting to bring your children to UK, but whichever, you need a letter of consent, consenting that you and your husband, or you and the father, or you and the mother of the child is happy for the child to come join you in the UK. So you have to write a letter of consent, which will be signed by you and your spouse, or you and whoever the father or the mother of the baby is. You also have to have evidence that you can, evidence that you can feed the child, evidence of accommodation, that you have an accommodation in the UK where the child will be staying. So you have to provide an evidence like proof of address, according to the legislation has, that you have an accommodation that the child will be staying, and that you are capable of taking care of the child. So you could even add your pay slip, all the documents. So like I said, it is better to add more documents than not to add any documents at all. So you can also add the child photo of you and the child, anything, conversation of you and the child, photo of you and the child, if when the child was born, maternity records, immunization records, maternity records of you and the child while you were pregnant with the child, immunization record. And you may say, oh, these documents are too much, where can I get it? You can actually get this document. That's the truth. Sometimes we get letters from hospitals when you're pregnant, your next appointment, so you can always get this that proves that, oh, this child was really born naturally. Yes, like when my colleague was having this issue and they said they needed more information, I said to her, don't you have emails, text messages of why you were doing your antenatal appointments, like your next antenatal appointment? And she said, oh, she does. I said, okay, just print them out. And of course, it shows that, oh, you had that child exactly that year you said you had that child. Photos of why the child was born, you and the child, or you, the child and the father, or you, the child and the mother. So you have to prove a lot of evidence because they want to be sure that you are not trafficking that child. They want to be sure that you are the mother of that child. And like I said, you can legally adopt a child and be able to bring the child to the UK as well. It all depends on the Home Office and the decision making center to make a decision. All right. So now, most importantly, before I go, another thing I want to share with you is if you have a child that has a learning disability. Now, if a child you have a child that has a learning disability and the child is 22 years old, the child is over 18 years old, you can actually bring that child to the United Kingdom with you. You just have to prove that the child is still dependent on you, and you have to provide medical documents that prove that this child has a disability. It could be a learning disability, it could be any form of disability, and the child is, dependent on you, and they will let you bring the child into the UK. So if your child does not have any disability, the age at which you can bring your child to the UK should be a child that is under 18 years old. But if the child has learning disability and the child is currently or totally dependent on you for whatever reason or the other because of the disability, you can bring the child at whatever age with you to the United Kingdom. All right, guys. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. And please don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Until I see you again, keep living the best. Keep living the life of Christ. I love you all. And bye for now.